Hey, I'm Tyler Boronski. I'm doing another Full Sail student interview with my guy Ryan Browne. What's going on, man?
Everything's good.
Yeah.
I just came from church.
Perfect. Well, thanks for coming on. This is a buddy of mine from one of our classes earlier at Full Sail, and now he's been doing big things since we've come to Full Sail, so I got to chat with him a little bit.
Trying to follow your footsteps.
I appreciate that.
Everywhere.
All right, well, let me ask you first, because you have done a lot of Full Sail, but I want to ask you a little bit about your life, prior to coming to Full Sail, because you came from New York. You had a pretty established kind of career in life over there. You've been to Full Sail for about a year now. What was your decision when, the reasoning behind your decision to come to Full Sail? What were some of the factors that made you feel like, I need to make this move now to come to Florida and attend the school?
Well, besides the weather, those long brutal winters.
That is true.
I got my foot in the door in the business with my company, B Mogul Inc. We did a couple big events and it was good. I learned a lot. I made a little money, but I lost more than I made. I had some good connections and notoriety was great. But I figured I'm doing this without knowledge in the industry, no true help, no real connections. What if I had this knowledge? What if I had friends in high places? What if I had the education degree? I imagine what I could do then,
Yeah.
So I figured instead of keep going at it, consistently for another year or two, find the right college, graduate, get the connections you need, and then do it again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Full Sail.
Full Sail is definitely one of the best entertainment industry
Yeah.
schools really in the country so far.
And it's funny because I came to Florida because I knew it was here, not the school itself, but it.
Yeah.
Whatever it was.
Okay.
The clubs, man,
Just had a feeling.
Exactly. And then my best friend, she basically was like, hey, check this college out. It's exactly what you want to do. And within a week of doing my research, YouTube videos, I was sold. I went to the behind the scenes. We did a marketing class right there, first day behind the scenes. We created a product for Coachella. How we're gonna promote it, budget, everything. And the entire time I was doing this back in New York. I knew the money, I knew. And when I was giving the answers, the press was like, how was this guy yeah, and it just hit me this is what I got to do. This is for me.
Can you elaborate a little bit about your company that you talked about that you're holding in New York? What is it exactly that you do for entertainment industry talent and just some of the things your company provides?
Well, first let me start with the story behind it, the background behind it. I have a lot of friends in New York who are artists, talented individuals, singers and what's not, but they just don't have a platform. New York is saturated. Thousands of artists, good and bad,
Yeah.
You just need somewhere to perform, to get your name out. And I had music skill as far as writing, knowing what songs good, what's not, and I love music and entertainment and doing events and what's not. So I got together a couple of them and figured, let's just do it ourselves.
Sure.
Let's just find our venue. Let's just find the money. You need money. And that's what it is. So I started managing a couple of the artists. And I think the highlight of the company so far was getting on stage with big artists like Lloyd Banks from G-Unit, Grammy Award with Ashanti.
Absolutely.
We worked with, remember Remy Ma had an event in New Jersey, part of that a little bit. Then we threw some talent shows and what's not to find up and coming artists. So it was pretty dope.
Yeah, that's a good company, especially to do that right now with Full Sail kids, because that's one thing. I see a lot of talented kids at Full Sail, but they're just looking for a platform to maybe get their name out, their brand out a little more. So what your company offers, it almost seems like a perfect segue to make those connections here, right?
Exactly. And one of the things that the company focused on was artist management, artist development. A lot of these artists, they're talented, but they still have to get the shine on, rough edges. And it's difficult being an artist manager. As our students know, we always hear it's worth it, but difficult. And that's what, with my experience, the company offers. It teaches you how to format your songs and your target market, who you're supposed to be targeted to and performing on stage. And the company does that, artist development. Also personal branding. Yeah, so what's your image? Do you have the EPK? How's your social media looking? Are you posting music one day and you're posting food and that?
Yeah.
You have a separate social media and what's not. And that's what we do in the company. And then I guess the icing on the cake is when we have the right artists and we have the money together, then I book a venue, I book a entertainment artists already, like let's say, I don't want to call them names right now, I'm not even targeting, but Drake.
Sure.
Cross fingers, hopefully. Let's say we target Drake.
Hey, you gotta say, put it out, make
Exactly,
it
put
into
it-
existence, you know?
Drake, if you hear this interview, we would love to work with you.
Yeah.
Right, so if you get the artist, the venue, put on the event.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, I love that your company kind of just helps make your image right, what you need to do, what your brand needs to look like, so
Yeah.
give them that platform. And speaking of, just making your brand look good online, you talked about social media, you have an online portfolio that I've been really impressed with when I got to take a look at it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, so can you speak on maybe just some tips on what students should do to, I guess, make their portfolio look great online? And I think concern of most students is they haven't done enough yet.
Right.
So would you advise them and advocate for them to still
Oh,
work on
definitely.
their online portfolio? Yeah.
Definitely, because we actually started, I started my portfolio just last month. As far as into school, they finally released the website for us to work on and what's not. But I've been actually getting content my entire life. This is content. So you don't have to wait for full sale classes to have your content. That's what my message would be. When they give you the website and you actually get
Sure.
it and you build it, upload everything. Upload your interviews, upload if you're a musician and you perform somewhere, upload that video. If you're a writer and you wrote a song, once it's copyrighted, put that song out there. Novels, anything you have, just put it out there. Make sure it's nice. Like for example, I have like a photography section, or I would have like a section for blogs.
Sure.
Where I uploaded some of my poems that I wrote. And just make sure it's formatted nice and just leave it. And then when the months come for you to like add Excel, I just did Excel, then we'll add Excel, we'll format it differently. But just put the content out there.
I second that for sure. It's like, you might not think you have enough stuff you've done, but you think back about it, you probably have some stuff and you don't want to forget later on, so if you put it right away, you'll forget easily, right?
Definitely. And to add on to that, I just finished going to the mascot games at the Army Center.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna upload all that content.
For sure.
Definitely.
So can you talk about the mascot games? Because you are fresh off volunteering that like literally a couple days ago, which is a really awesome opportunity. Speak on some of the responsibilities and tasks you had to do at that event and maybe why you specifically chose that event to volunteer at.
Well, volunteering for me is special because that's how I started out with my career, my job, my old job at the Brooklyn Hospital.
Yep.
I volunteered for 6 months, 9 to 5 consistently, and then they were like, "We have to give you a job."
Yeah.
So it works, So here in Orlando, I want to change industries, so it's basically the same blueprint for me.
Sure.
Find a company, find an event, volunteer. If you do a good job, they'll remember you, they'll call you back, eventually you get a job. So when I heard of the opportunity to volunteer for the mascot games at Amway is where you want to be in Orlando.
Magic, baby.
Exactly, that's the biggest arena, so I want to get my foot in the door. I met a couple of people who could be beneficial in the future, and hopefully they give me a call back and I'll keep volunteering.
That's the thing, man. He got his face out there. Maybe not paid for it,
Right.
which is fine. But you got those connections. You got your faces out there. You do a good job. They'll remember you, like you said.
And if it's a good event, it's worthy cause, then the experience itself is great. The mascot games for the kids, it was held by a company or organization called New Hope for Our Kids. It's for the kids. Like anything for the kids is good. So
It's a good cause.
Yeah,
for
exactly.
sure.
Yeah.
All right, so Ryan, so you've been here for now about a year at Full Sail. We talked about a lot of things you've done, and you also won the Course Director Award, which is a pretty awesome honor.
Thank you.
Looking back at your year so far at Full Sail, you talked about this is a big move for you to come to Florida, and you just had that gut feeling.
Yeah.
Do you feel like this year has set you up in the right direction you want to go moving forward? Has it been worth it to you so far, this move?
Well, definitely. Especially when, it's not free, the education, So you have to invest in yourself. And before you choose this school and this college, make sure that it's what you want to do, the industry you want to be in. And I love it. I love entertainment. And like I said, the Course Director Award won that, which is great. GPA average is above 3.8, which is great. And meeting people like you, you're the future. I expect to see you on ESPN someday, covering who knows,
For sure.
or even your own talk show,
Yeah.
So don't forget me. Maybe you'll call me back.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. So I met a lot of great people so far. This one guy did a pitch for a reality TV show. They loved it. They said, "Go with it, run with it." So we exchanged numbers, and who knows,
Of course.
Yeah, then I met a couple of students that I want to work on this app with. So if I wasn't here at this school, I wouldn't have the opportunities.
That's the thing about Full Sail. They always preach like you never know who you're going to work with, you never know who your partner is going to be, and you never know who knows who. So I think that's perfect to keep those connections and stay in touch with people, as well. Ryan's going to be one of those guys I stay in touch with, after we're done being at Full Sail,
Definitely.
and just keeping that connection with people and that relationship. So
one thing that I love is that the professors are still in the industry. They're hands-on, they're still doing their thing. So that's another great thing.
Yeah, that's the school. One thing in my sportscasting program, our guys, my two teachers, right? Both producers at ESPN. When SportsCenter was in heyday, those were the guys running it. So it's pretty cool to hear their stories, hear their knowledge. They can't go wrong. So I appreciate it, brother. Thanks so much, man.
No problem.
All right, take care.